Hello friends, I welcome you all for a lecture on transportation model. So in this lecture we will discuss mathematical formulation of transportation model. As we know that transportation problem is related to the transportation of homogeneous goods from one place to another. So let us have one example here. Here one simple network representation is shown. As we know that the quantity which is to be transported is a homogeneous quantity, that means it is of the same type. Let us consider there are the number of sources where the supply is available and the quantities are to be transported from these sources to various destinations where there is a respective demand from each of the destinations, and each of the supplying source is capable of transporting the goods from respective source to each of the destinations. But as the distance may vary, road conditions may vary, taxation systems may vary, therefore unit cost of transportation from each of the source to respective destinations will vary. So we have to put this mathematically so that we can obtain the solution. As we know that for obtaining the solution to transportation problem we require initial basic feasible solution. But while formulating this problem for obtaining the solution, that step is important here. Now let us discuss here the characteristics of transportation model or transportation problem. I hope you have seen my previous video lectures so that the understanding will be better. Now here are the few characteristics mentioned. The first characteristic is a product is to be transported from a number of sources to a number of destinations at the minimum possible cost. So this is our objective, to determine the minimum possible cost so that all the supplies can be utilized and all the demand can be fulfilled. This is first characteristic. Now second characteristic is each source is able to supply a fixed number of units of the product. That means each of the source has its own supplying capacity. The source cannot supply more than its production capacity. Also, each of the destination has a fixed demand for the product. We assume here that demand is fixed with respect to time and supplying capacity of each of the source is also fixed, constant. Third characteristic is the linear programming model has constraints for supply at each source and demand at each destination. This is nothing but about the supplying capacities and demand at each destination. They are constant. All constants are equalities in a balanced transportation problem where supply equals to demand. That means before obtaining a solution to transportation problem, the problem should be balanced. So we say here, when the supply is equal to demand, then only problem is balanced. Now in case of unbalanced transportation problem, when supply is not equal to demand, in that case we will have to use dummy sources or dummy destinations to balance the supply and demand. If supply is less than the demand, in that case we will have to use dummy source, and if the demand is less than supply, then in that case we will have to use a dummy destination. So these are the points related to the transportation model. Now having the knowledge of these characteristics and the network, let us move towards now mathematical modeling of transportation problem. Now let us go towards the mathematical formulation or mathematical modeling here. Now here are some assumptions made while formulating a transportation model. Our first assumption is here that we have to assume a manufacturing company which has suppose 3 plants P1, P2, P3, and they are producing the same product. That means the homogeneous product and it has to distribute or transport the product to four warehouses W1, W2, W3 and W4. We considered here 3 manufacturing plants and 4 warehouses. As we know that the transportation problem will be balanced when the supply is equal to demand. So it does not depend upon the number of sources or number of destinations, because it depends, balanced transportation problem depends upon the supply and demand conditions. Now let us consider here each of the plants has limited supplying capacity. Let us say S1, S2, S3, and each warehouse has a specified demand D1, D2, D3 and D4. That means to have a balanced transportation problem, summation of S1, S2, S3 should be equal to summation of D1, D2, D3 and D4. And our here intention is we have to transport the product from each plant to each warehouse, but the cost of transportation varies from different combinations. Now let us see how the cost varies. Now here aim is to establish a least cost route. That means we have to find a best combination of transporting the quantities in such a way that the total cost of transportation should be minimum. Now let us assume that here let Cij, I stands for the ith plant or source and J stands for jth destination. So cost of transportation, unit cost of transportation from ith source or ith plant to the jth warehouse is, let us say here, unit cost of transportation from ith plant to jth warehouse. Then assume Xij is equal to the quantity of product transported from ith plant to the jth warehouse. I stands for the plant number and J stands for the warehouse number. Now if we look at the matrix shown here with respect to plants and warehouses, in front of each of the plants supplying capacity is mentioned S1, S2, S3. In front of each of the warehouse demand is mentioned D1, D2, D3, D4. And for combinations of unit costs of transportation, let us say from plant 1, for cost of transportation, unit cost of transportation to warehouse 1 is C11, first plant, first warehouse. Similarly C12, that means first plant, second warehouse. So each of the unit cost of transportation for different combinations are given in this matrix. Let us say C23. Its meaning is that cost of transportation for single unit from second plant to the third warehouse is mentioned here in this matrix. So this is called as the cost matrix. And in each cell of the matrix, on the upper left hand side of the corner, here the quantity to be transported from each of the plants to respective warehouse is mentioned. So let us say X13, it indicates that quantity to be transported from first plant to the third warehouse. Similarly, if let us say X32, its meaning is that the quantity to be transported from third plant to the second warehouse. So similarly we get here the matrix. Now if we put this problem as a LPP, let us say how it looks. Our objective is to find the cost of transportation that should be the minimum. So if we want to calculate the cost, simply we will have to take the product of unit cost into number of quantities to be transported for each of the cells. So therefore we will get the total cost of transportation as the multiplication and summation of all the terms in the given matrix, cost matrix. Similarly, C11 into X11 plus C12 into X12. That means unit cost of transportation into quantity to be transported at that cost. So it gives us the total cost of transportation. So our objective will be here to minimize Z minimum. We considered here a function Z, cost function, for objective minimization. So we have written the same multiplication and summation of these terms here. So we get here our objective value. So this is the form of objective function in case of an LPP, because the transportation problem is a special case of linear programming problems. So in a solution, if we get only sum of the cells, at that means we get their real allocations, and at the cells where we do not get any of the values, that means these X values will be having value 0. Now let us look at the constraints. Now what are the constraints here? Constraints are for supplies as well as the demands. For all the cost elements, the allocations sum must be equal to respective supplying capacity for each of the row. If we consider the sum of allocations row wise, we get equalities, and these equalities are with respect to supplies. Now this is the constraint. Similarly, there is a demand constraint. If we add or take summation of allocations along the columns, we get respective demands for each of the warehouses. So this is called as demand constraint. So this is about the transportation problem modeling. So I hope you have understood the concept in better way for transportation modeling. Thank you for watching the video.